Hello and welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Here for Game 2 between Rhodes and Trinity, the two teams that are tied for first place in the SAA. Rhodes will try and clinch the series today with a Game 2 victory. Trinity trying to force a Game 3 that will decide the series. Hello, everybody. Cole Isaacson joined alongside Shepard Tyler, and Shepard should be a really good game today. Rhodes trying to take the series.
Yeah, it should be a good one, and we're hoping to see a little bit better defensive play and pitching on the mound for the Tigers today. Not so much lacking in the offense yesterday. A couple really well-timed hits, but just had runners on base pretty much the whole game.
We will quickly run through the Rhodes Lynx starting lineup. They'll start with Brad Larson, Corbin Martins, Ben Daniel at DH, Cooper Angley, followed by Miles Kruger, Brandon Trishelle, Shine Barron, Cooper Kuriger, and Austin Smith will round things out. Rhodes employing the "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" mantra. That is the same exact order and the same exact players that they went with in Game 1.
I don't blame them. They hit good yesterday.
First pitch to Larson, and we're underway with strike one from the Tiger starter, Tate Johnson. Johnson, the first year from Round Rock, Texas, making his 9th appearance of the year, his 4th start. Comes in with an ERA just over 3. The 0-1, swing and a miss, quickly ahead 0-2. Last appearance for Johnson was against the University of St. Thomas in a midweek game. Through 3 innings, struck out 4, walked 2, and gave up no earned runs.
Yeah, I know they're thrilled with the production they've seen from Johnson in the past. He's been sort of a midweek starter for them, but towards the end of the season now, the arms are getting a little bit more thin, and so they're looking for younger guys that have had success to have more of a impactful role in the weekend games.
Hoping to see that out of Johnson in Game 2. Ahead 0-2. Fouled off for the second straight pitch as Larson continues to hang in there.
And so far, he's attacking Larson here. He just came at him with a high fastball, trying to get that swing and miss, but he's had a lot of really well-placed pitches.
Larson, a .364 hitter on the year. The 0-2. Popped up. Anderson will give it a look, but it drifts out of play onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, speaking of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just giving him multiple high fastballs in a row, see what he can do with it.
3 consecutive pitches fouled off by Larson, who has over 30 runs batted in this season as the Rhodes leadoff man. The sophomore ready to go. The first year delivers. The 0-2. Ground ball, 3 hops to Haynes. Fields and throws in time. 1 down in the inning.
And that's a strong start for Johnson on the mound. Hopefully it's a sign of good things to come. That was a really good at-bat.
They'll bring up Corbin Martins to the plate. A first-year matchup coming up. Martins making his 35th start of the season, a .338 average, 50 runs batted in, OPS well over 1,000, and the home runs, the column that really stands out among all of that. Takes a strike. 13 home runs, mentioned it a lot yesterday, tied for the program record in a single season.
Yeah, he almost broke the record today. It was a dangerous one.
Breaking ball misses low and away. First ball thrown by Tate Johnson. Popped up. Moss gives it a look, but will fall out of play. Not onto the roof, though.
Yeah, right down into the Rhodes fan section.
Hopped high enough so we could see it on the bounce from the roof. Goes down to strike 2. The 1-2. Close pitch. Moss wanted the call, doesn't get it. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 down, nobody on. Breaking ball just misses. A nice take from Martins.
So the count goes full, but I wouldn't say that he's struggled this at-bat with those strikes. He's just had really well-placed swing and miss pitches that he's not bid on.
Misses with that one, and it's ball 4, the first base runner for Rhodes. And it's a walk for Corbin Martins, who's on first.
And that's got to be frustrating for Johnson out there. He had really well-placed off-speed pitches trying to do that swing and miss, and it just didn't work for him.
Brings up Ben Daniel, 370 hitter coming into this game. Working with a runner on first, 1 down in the inning. Takes a ball. Daniel with a hit in the first inning in yesterday's game. Reached base 3 times overall, hit by pitch and an error, along with the hit. 1-0. Fastball delivered with command for a strike.
And this battery is going to have to take note of where the zone is today. It doesn't look like they're getting many calls on the edge of the plate, so they're going to have to bring it back in a little bit if they want to get those outside strikes.
Strike 2. Another fastball. Johnson working with the runner on first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They check on him. Martins able to get back safely. Working against Daniel, the designated hitter. Top of the first inning. Ground ball could be 2. Haynes flips to Ramsey. On to first in time. It's a double play. 4-6-3 double play ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Tate Johnson. Sends us to the bottom of the first. Still no score. Welcome to the campus of Trinity University as we'll run through the Tigers starting lineup. Leading off is Caleb Woodward, followed by the catcher Thomas Moss, Will Baker in his usual 3-hole, Grant Anderson at third base, Sawyer Haynes at second, Anthony Susha out and right, Nick Jones getting the DH duties today, followed by Ramsey at short and Evan Kuhl out in left field. And on the mound for Rhodes will be Nathan Shumway, the first year from Dunwoody, Georgia. First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. Shumway making his 13th appearance, his 6th start of the year. Comes in with a record of 2-0. 28 2/3 innings pitched. Second pitch misses outside. Behind 2-0, ERA at 5.65. Trying to lower that in this appearance, getting the Game 2 start against Woodward, who's well over a 300 hitter. Pitch upstairs, 3-0. So in danger of issuing a leadoff walk in the first inning. Pitch from Shumway. Strike one. Trying to battle back in this at-bat. We talked about yesterday how few batters, Rhodes as a pitching staff in general, walks. The 3-1. Strike two, and the count runs full. Inside and low, ball four, and the leadoff man aboard for Trinity.
Hopefully that's a sign of good things to come for the Tigers. Saw some early production in the game yesterday, but sort of fell flat as the innings went on. Hoping to see some continued production throughout the game today.
Brings up the catcher in today's game, Thomas Moss. Moss familiar with the two-hole. He usually hits in it when he enters the game. And you see why with the batting average. 357 on the year. Making his 19th appearance of the season. Woodward running on the first pitch. The throw is high. The tag, not in time.
That throw looked like it was on time, but just a little bit too far to the right. Wasn't able to get the tag down on him.
Kurger did his best at second base. We'll see it again. The swing from Moss and the throw just too high.
For Rhodes, we've seen a lot of really impressive throws from behind the dish.
Moss grounds one past the dive at first into right field. Woodward being waved around. It's 1-0 Trinity early. They had an interesting shift with Kurger playing on the other side of second base, and it does not work out.
So the Tigers showing signs of progression very early on in this game.
And it brings up Will Baker. Tigers already up 1-0. No outs on the board. Baker, a .350 hitter. 31 runs batted in. 29 scored. Takes a strike. I don't think I've ever seen that at the Division III level where they had a true shift on with Kurger on his right side of second base.
Yeah, maybe it was just mistimed. He was trying to cover the bag, but he didn't have time to get back to his position. But it's also possible they were trying to put a shift on for Moss, but not a lot of scouting report on him saying that he can only pull the ball. So it makes you wonder why they would do that.
Hit it the other way that time, went off the glove of Martins and trickled into right field. Woodward scored easily from second, as now we have a meeting with Coach Scannell out there, along with third base coach Joey Deering. Raul also in there.
And it's possible they were trying to execute some sort of pickoff, but the pitcher just didn't pick up the sign.
Something weird definitely going on there. Now Shumway has to deal with a runner on first. Nobody out and already a run on the board. Try to get Moss at first, dives back safely. Something the Tigers aren't really that used to recently is having the lead.
Especially early on in games, not having to fight back and claw back from losing.
Baker down 0-1. Pitch misses, 1-1. Trailed by at least 2 runs in every game last weekend against Sewanee. Came back and won 2 of those 3 games and then did not lead in yesterday's game. Check on Moss again, gets a hand in safely.
And I'm sure it's a good sign for the Trinity coaching staff, seeing production early on in this game rather than having to manually create it later on in this game.
Baker steps out. Will Baker with 2 hits in yesterday's game where he reached 3 times. One of those coming in the first inning, trying to replicate that here. Home plate umpire writing something down.
Seemed to be some sort of warning for Shumway.
All ready to go again, 1-1. Moss waiting on first. Has to dive back again. 3rd time they've checked on him.
And the job is a little bit easier for Shumway here. Moss not exactly known for stealing bases. He's not slow, but they typically just don't send him, especially when he's behind the dish. Don't want to put too much work on those legs.
Swing and a miss from Baker, 1-2. Moss with 2 stolen bases so far this season has not been caught. So not sending him a lot, but effective when they do. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Baker softly lines this one. Throw to second in time, they get 1.
A good job by Baker to get down the line quickly. Prevented that double play. I'm sure he was frustrated seeing that come off the bat, but he didn't let it affect him and he got down the line quick.
Kerger just letting it fall in front of him at second base. And it brings up Grant Anderson, and we see the shift again. Kerger on the left side of second base right now. You can see him in the frame. Anderson up to bat. Slaps this one foul the other way, out of play, onto the roof. 1, 2, 3. Now Kerger has shifted back over to his usual side of second base, still almost behind the bag.
Seems like they're putting the shift on.
Off and running, ground ball through the right side again. Baker was trying to take second, so he'll head to third now. The throw is not in time, and there's runners at the corners. Once again, the shift works against Rhodes.
Yeah, Anderson executing that hit and run perfectly, putting exactly where he needed to put it. And it looked like the shift was supposed to prevent the ground ball up the middle. A lot of Trinity's hits come from that, just popping one up the middle, and so maybe they were trying to prevent that. I'm not sure, but it didn't work for them there.
And to rub salt in the wound, it would have been right where Kerger is usually standing.
Well, most likely he would have been covering because of the steal, because they had the hit and run called. So that was a perfectly executed swing on the hit and run.
Sawyer Haynes takes a ball. Hitting well over 300 this year, ahead 1-0. Now a more regular defensive position.
I wonder, Cole, do you think they're going to put that shift on again at some point in this game?
Now, they've gotten beaten on it twice. But you never know.
You never know.
0 for 2 so far. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss from Haynes. Runners at the corners. 1 down in the inning. Tigers already up 1-0. Thought about bunting, pulls it back. Now ahead 2-1. Haynes did not have a hit in yesterday's game. Only time he reached was when he was hit by a pitch. Anderson dives back safely. Talk about how many of the Tigers' hits come right up the middle. I feel like Sawyer Haynes is chief among them in that category. The amount of times he has dribbled the ball right over second base.
And it's nice because it's an indication of timing up the ball really well. That's about as perfect as you can time it up.
Bunts again. This one goes foul. They say it hit Haynes. So he will be sent back along with Anderson, who advanced to second.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't see it hit him.
If it didn't hit him, it dropped perfectly fair, though doesn't seem to be any protest from the Trinity dugout. Now in a 2-2 count, and it looks like they're going to talk about it. See it on the replay. Shumway delivers here.
Oh, it hit the bat twice.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
So it didn't hit him, but it hit the bat twice. And as we know, it's a dead ball after that.
Looks like they have confirmed the call. Seems to be the correct decision. Haynes stepping back in.
Was Rhodes calling for him to be out because of that?
Don't think so. Maybe.
I can't imagine what the claim would be.
2-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses.
So the zone, we've seen it today. Against left-handed hitters, he's actually giving a lot of outside strikes. But against right-handed hitters, not many outside strikes at all.
3-2 count. Runners at the corners. Off and going, fouls it into the screen. Anderson was trying to take second base on that play. Is sent back after the foul ball.
And it seems like that might have been another hit and run call. They've had success with that so far in this first inning, so maybe using it again.
Been very aggressive in this first inning. 3-2 again. Slider misses outside. Ball 4, loads the bases. The second walk handed out by Shumway in the inning.
And you mentioned the Tigers being really aggressive here in the first. You kind of have to if you have this sort of lead going and you have this momentum, especially in the first inning. If you're getting to the starter this early, you have to put the pedal on the gas.
And this will bring a full infield meeting along with the battery. Trinity has loaded the bases, a chance to really extend their lead here in the first inning. Think about how nice it would be for them to play with a big lead. Haven't been able to do that in quite a while, especially this early. We're down by 5+ runs multiple times last weekend against Sewanee. We're able to come back and win one of those games and lost 9-3 in yesterday's game, despite it being tied 3-3 after 3.
Yeah, sort of a rarity for the Tigers. We don't see them getting to the starter early in the first very often, so good to see them trying new things.
It is an offense that usually finds its rhythm. Top 100 in several important categories, including home runs and doubles and batting average. But usually takes a little bit to get them going. Not the case so far today. Anthony Susha coming up, the right fielder today. Cuts and misses at the first pitch, strike 1.
So typically what we see from the Trinity offense is they're very analytical. So they analyze what's working for the starter and how they can attack him. And so it takes them typically until the 3rd or 4th inning before they start to get to him, but haven't needed that here.
Big swing and a miss again, down 0-2. Susha making his 13th start of the year, a .341 hitter. Has hits in 7 straight appearances. Check swing. Did he go? No.
It's hard to tell. I think he thought that one was a little bit high out of the zone. Seemed like the catcher had to reach up for it just a little bit.
1-2 with the bases loaded. Susha fouls it into the screen and stays alive. Tigers already with a run. They scored that run before an out was recorded. Woodward scoring off the leadoff walk and a stolen base. Base hit from Moss to bring him in. Now it's Baker, Anderson, and Haynes all waiting on base. This is popped up onto the roof behind us. 1, 2, 3. Did you see 4th?
Yeah.
Okay. 4.
Nothing crazy. And the plan of attack against Susha so far has been the fastball.
Susha grounds one, could be 2. Flip to second in time. Throw to first. It's a double play to escape the jam. 1 run scores for Trinity, but Shumway gets out of the bases loaded jam. Tigers lead 1-0 as we head to the second on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Trinity with the early 1-0 lead over Rhodes in Game 2. Tate Johnson back on the mound. So he faces Cooper Angley, catcher in today's game, a .341 hitter on the year. Angley reached base 3 times in yesterday's game. A walk, hit by pitch, and a single. Takes a ball inside, ahead 2-0. Tigers leaving the bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning despite scoring a run. So Rhodes hanging in there. Could have been a lot worse.
And for Angley, not only have we seen production at the plate for him, he's had a lot of really nice throws from behind the dish. He's thrown out several Trinity hitters this weekend.
Trying to continue his production at the plate. Hitting cleanup once again today. 3-0 pitch is a strike. (3-1) ahead of it and grounds it down the third baseline, foul. So the count runs full here early with nobody out and nobody on. Each of the prior 2 half innings ending with a double play.
And Johnson able to work back here after falling behind in the count. He had a long wait in between innings after that Trinity offense kind of exploded for only 1 run, but
strike 3 called, gets him looking. Angley can't believe it. He was a third down the first base line, convinced that he had ball 4.
Cole, to be honest, I thought he had ball 4 as well. He has not been calling that in the zone today so far.
Moss able to bring it back into the zone. Out number 1. Brings up Miles Kruger, the shortstop today. Takes a strike, and it gives us an opportunity to set the Trinity defense. Evan Kuhl out in left field, Woodward in center, Anthony Susha out in right, and left to right in the infield, Anderson, Ramsey, Haynes, and Baker. The battery of Moss and Johnson. Swing and a foul tip. Kruger down 0-2.
And it's nice that Johnson and Moss can stay together and kind of keep that battery going, with Johnson's role in the past being a midweek starter. A lot of times his catcher has been Moss, and you like to keep those 2 guys together.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called again. Back-to-back strikeouts looking for Tate Johnson.
Really strong start to this inning.
See where this one was. Outside edge again, gets the call.
And if you're Dave Smith, you got to be thrilled with what Johnson's doing so far. Showing really nice signs of domination early on in this game. Hopefully he can keep it up.
Now it's Brandon Trishelle, the third baseman today. Ground ball high, hopper to Anderson, who backs up on it. Strong throw, and it's out number 3. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Tate Johnson. Sends us to the bottom of the second in San Antonio. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Bottom of the second inning, Trinity up 1-0. And Nicholas Jones leading things off for the Tigers, the DH today. Takes ball one low. Jones a .219 hitter on the year. Did not play in game one yesterday. Backs out of the way of that pitch, up and in. Ahead 2-0. Shumway on the mound for his second inning of work. Gave up one run in the first inning. Escaped with the bases loaded. Strike called at 84 miles per hour. Swing and a miss from Jones. Got up to 85 that time. So working in the mid-80s for Shumway. Two balls, two strikes. Fouled into the screen, and we'll do it again.
That one was going right for you, Cole.
It's all right. You would have protected me.
I would have Devin in front.
But that's what we have the screen for. A little more reliable. Breaking ball. Jones lifts it into right field, and it falls for a base hit. So Nick Jones aboard with a no-out single. Back-to-back times the leadoff man has reached for Trinity.
Yeah, again, early signs of life for the Tigers. Really good sign for good things to come today.
Brings out the shortstop, John Ramsey. Ramsey, so far this season, has done quite well. Leads the team in home runs with 7. Over a .360 hitter. Tries to drop the bunt down this time, and it trickles foul down the third base line. Ramsey hit 8th in yesterday's game. Earned a double in the second inning, trying to do a repeat performance.
And it's always nice when one of your power guys can be asked to lay down a bunt and do a job.
Down 0-1 after the bunt bid. Fouled in on the hands into the screen.
Looks like Shumway's sort of attacked both of these hitters with inside fastballs, trying to get in on their hands and maybe get a pop-up or something.
Ahead 0-2. Jones waiting on first with nobody out. Pitch is high, now 1-2. The sun has come out. It's been off and on, cloudy pretty much all day. Very humid though. First pitch temperature in the mid-80s. Going to get up to 90 today. Ramsey lifts this one, but it's drifting out of play and foul. Onto the roof. 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4.
Yeah, I'd say 3.5. That's kind of a baby.
It was a weak 4.
Very weak 4.
1-2 pitch, not yet. Check on Jones at first, who gets back safely. For those of you who did not tune in yesterday, we have an exposed setup here on the roof of the Bell Center, across the sidewalk from the baseball field. Very nice view. No press box, though. So we get to count the amount of times foul balls hop on the roof. Ramsey takes ball 2. Count now even.
It's also nice that we can hear a lot of the things going on in the field.
It is. I like that we have open air access. I just don't like the fact that we have the wind.
We are completely subject to the weather.
Ramsey lifts this ball deep to left field. Barron going back all the way to the warning track where he makes the catch for out number 1. And it gives us an opportunity to set the Rhodes defense. Barron out there in left field. Austin Smith back out there in center. Larson in right. And then left to right in the infield, it's Trishelle, Kruger, Kuriger, and Martins from third to first with a battery of Angley and Shumway. 1 down in the bottom of the second as Evan Kuhl steps up to the plate. Kuhl in left field today, played in right field yesterday. Takes ball 1, a .412 hitter on the year. Kuhl ahead 1-0. Jones waiting on first. Big cut and a miss, 1-1. Cool played in yesterday's game.
And
Went 1 for 3 with a single and had that great catch in right.
Yeah, that oh yeah catch.
Feels like he's good for one of those a game.
It's a nice presence to have in the outfield with those extremely fast legs. He's pretty much able to cover that whole outfield.
Shumway delivers outside. So Cool now in a 2-ball count.
Did we explain the oh yeah to the new viewers?
I don't think we did, no. Slider misses, low and away. Says it's cool. Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah.
Ingenuitive stuff. Putting our college degrees to work.
The Tiger Network think tank. Strike called and the count runs full. 3-2. See if he has an oh yeah moment with the bat here.
That would be very nice.
They check on Jones, steps back safely.
Shumway have been very, very interested in the batters that have reached today. Done a lot of work to keep them close to the bag. I'm sure Angley's very happy about that. It's going to help him if they try to steal.
Bluffed like he was going. This is line past the dive of Kuriger. Into center field, a base hit for Evan Cool. Oh yeah. Two hits in the inning for Trinity, and they have runners on first and second. As the lineup will now flip over, Caleb Woodward reached in his only plate appearance today with a walk. He's been the Tigers' leadoff hitter all year. Cool and Woodward, a couple of guys that they're happy to have back who missed time earlier this year. Woodward takes the ball up and inside. Of course, Evan Cool got hurt in that midweek game against TLU. That was in early March, was not able to play until last weekend, and then Woodward getting hurt before that, battling through a back injury. He's played every conference game this season as he hits one to right field, going back at the wall, and it hits the wall right in front of the 360 mark. Here comes Nick Jones. Evan Cool right behind him. Tigers add on 2.
Timely hitting from Woodward, and you can see the celebration in the dugout and on second. And off the bat, I thought we might have had 3 runs getting added. He got every piece of that.
The 2-run double for Caleb Woodward, the wall ball double. Easily into second base. Evan Cool scoring all the way from first.
It's those wheels, man.
Such a speed weapon, and it looks like that will be the day for Shumway.
And for Woodward, he's got that deceptive power. He doesn't look like he would blast him over the wall all the time, but he can put him out there.
Nathan Shumway departing in the second inning as we'll step away on Tiger Network. Trinity with the 3-0 lead. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. New arm on the mound for Rhodes is Ryan Fallman. The junior from Marietta, Georgia, comes in with a win-loss record of 4-0, ERA under 4 through over 31 innings pitched. 43 strikeouts, 24 walks, and the whip, a very nice 1.15. Works with Caleb Woodward on second base, one down, as Moss grounds this one. Fair ball down the first base line. Here comes Woodward from second easily. Takes a nasty kick off the bullpen. Moss digging in for 3. The throw coming in, not in time. An RBI triple for Thomas Moss as he greets the new arm from the bullpen.
And it can be tricky, those balls down the line when they hit off the bullpen. Not exactly sure where they're going to go. Allows them to advance an extra base.
So Thomas Moss takes third base on the RBI triple. Trinity now up 4-0 as the book on Nathan Shumway is now closed. Gives up 4 earned runs through an inning and a third. Now it's Will Baker. Takes a strike. Baker so far in this game has reached on a fielder's choice, 0 for 1 overall. Just under a .350 hitter on the season. Takes a ball outside, ahead 2-0.
And Baker has what they would call ducks on the pond here.
Now ahead 3-0. Tigers have already scored more runs than they did all of last night. Lost 9-3, now up 4-0.
And as we were leaving the ballpark yesterday, we saw the emphatic meeting from Coach Scannell with the team. A lot of words of encouragement, very inspirational. I almost stopped and listened for a bit. So hopefully it's doing good work here.
2-2. Baker hits this one the opposite field, going into left, and the sliding catch is made. Moss tagging from third. He will score. A sacrifice fly for Will Baker on a very nice play from Barron in left.
Yeah, and he's going to wish that landed. That would have been really nice to have that runner on second, but did a job there. Lifted one in the outfield, and that's all you can ask of him.
Tigers now take a 5-0 lead on the sacrifice fly from Baker. He gets an RBI. And it brings up Grant Anderson, who's 1 for 1 today. And they have the shift on again. Breaking ball lands for a strike. You have Kurger on the left side of second base, the second baseman. Not in his usual position. The right side of the infield wide open as now Kurger heads back to his usual side.
Still over there, right up next to second base, and I've noticed whenever they put this shift on, they always followed up with a breaking ball. So it's potentially in an effort to throw a breaking ball inside because it's really hard to take that pitch the other way. So knowing that, it's most likely going to go pulled.
Anderson fouls this into the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Saw something similar to this a couple of years ago when Trinity played Centenary, and they were shifting based on the pitches. And talking to the Trinity coaching staff after, said they loved it because they knew it was coming. Anderson takes a pitch outside, ahead 2-1.
Only breaking balls so far against Anderson, so maybe that was a plan of attack for them.
2 down in the inning, nobody on. Did he go? Yes, he did. And that is strike 3 to end the inning, but not before the Tigers pulled up a crooked number. 4 runs in the second to take a 5-0 lead. Sends us to the third on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City. Top of the third inning, Tate Johnson back on the mound, and Shine Barron, the left fielder who made a nice catch in the prior half inning, is now up to bat for the first time. A .261 hitter with 7 runs batted in limited action. Sends a fly ball out to right center field, and it's the right fielder Susha making the catch for out number 1 on 1 pitch.
And that's always frustrating. Off the bat, it feels so good. It's right in that gap. You're hoping to get extra bases on it, and then ends up falling in the glove just a little bit too elevated.
Now it's Cooper Kuriger, second baseman today. Kuriger making his first plate appearance of the day. His team down 5-0. Take strike 1. Kuriger hitless in yesterday's game, but reached on a hit by pitch and a walk. And has had some interesting defensive placement today. Pitch outside 1-1.
So far, Johnson been very aggressive in this game, been attacking hitters with strikes in the zone. I think that's one of the first times we've seen him actually go out of the zone before he gets 2 strikes.
Swing and a miss, now has 2 strikes, 1-2.
And on the bump, makes your job a lot easier for throwing first pitch strikes and getting ahead in the count.
Little low that time, 2-2. Kuriger trying to be the first base runner of the inning for Rhodes. Low again, and now the count runs full. It's a countdown count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The 3-2. Lifted in the air, center field. Woodward coming under it and makes the catch. 2 away.
And for Johnson, that's a really tough at bat there. Showed a willingness to just go in the zone and attack him. No fear at all of giving him a pitch to hit. But the full count, didn't want to allow the walk, so he said, all right, I'll give you my best pitch, see what you can do with it.
Brings up Austin Smith, the 9-hole hitter again today. .413 average on the season. OPS over 1,000. Take strike 1. Seen a lot of that today from Johnson. Smith with a 2-hit game yesterday. 2 singles, also walked twice. Was on base a lot. And not a guy you want to let on base. 14 stolen bases this year. Breaking ball misses low, 1-1.
Yeah, Smith proving to be a very frustrating at-bat for these Tigers. Hopefully Johnson can challenge him here. He's one of the most selective hitters on Rhodes' offense. Waits till he gets the pitch to hit, but won't swing at anything out of the zone.
Strike called, down 1-2. So far, Johnson consistently getting ahead on hitters. Doing that here again against Smith. Breaking ball misses low. A nice take from Smith.
And almost there. Maybe if Moss holds on to it for just a second, they might have gotten the call, but ball popped out, and I think it just looked too low.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ahead of it and fouls it well out of play among the spectators. And behind them, kid running after the baseball.
And Smith, he's got a really smooth, quick swing, so it allows him to sit back and wait and make sure that the pitch is actually in the zone before it commits to it. We don't see a lot of swing and misses from him.
Smith ready to step back in. So we'll do this 2-2 pitch again. 2 down, nobody on. Breaking ball high, does not land. And after being down 1-2, Smith has worked its way to a full count.
And one of the few mistakes we've seen from Johnson today. I know he wanted that breaking ball lower. It just allowed his hands to get a little bit under it, and it popped out.
Now 3-2. Outside and low, ball 4, and Smith will take first base.
And it seems like you just can't keep Smith off the base path. Just so selective.
Breaks up a string of 5 in a row retired by Tate Johnson. He had faced the minimum to that point. And now brings up Brad Larson. 0-for-1 with a ground out to second. Sends a fly ball to left field. Cool camping under it and makes the catch for a 1-pitch out to end the inning. Rhodes down 5-0. Trinity's turn to bat when we come back bottom of the third. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Temporary overcast skies as Sawyer Haynes will lead things off in the bottom of the third. Takes a strike. Haynes walked in the first inning in his only plate appearance, but we got to point out something that we noticed in between innings. Rhodes in their bullpen has a massage table they seem to be using.
Yeah, it makes me jealous, man. I might go over there.
Like, where was Trinity's massage table?
Do you think they bring it with them, like on the bus?
That's what it seems like. Well, I guess they flew this time, so I don't know how they got it here. Fouled the other way into the screen.
Did they check it as like luggage?
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it would be that hard to fold it up, and I guess it's worth the price.
Yeah, I really need that massage table out there.
1-2 inside, and it hits Haynes. Crouches over in some pain and now just takes off his gear. He will head to first base. Leadoff man aboard for the third consecutive inning. He might need the massage table after this. Yeah, right on the elbow almost.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to get hit by a baseball. Definitely does not feel good.
Took the 87-mile-per-hour pitch off the elbow. Not a good feeling. Haynes on first base. I would be on the IL.
Yeah.
I'd be done. No more.
Why I stopped hitting, Cole.
Now it's Susha. 0-for-1 today. Tried to square up a bunt, pulls it back for strike one. Trishelle charging in from third base, ready for it.
So I hate to go back to the massage table, but do you think they're warming up the Game 2 starter?
That's an interesting thought. Maybe. Strike called, Susha down 0-2. Not the worst way to use your resources, I would say.
Or is it potentially one of the pitchers from yesterday's game?
Getting ready for today? Maybe.
Or maybe just recovery?
Could be. Multitasking. Check on Haynes at first base, dives back safely. He's on first, nobody out. Susha down 0-2. My only thing that's with the massage table is they put it directly in the sun. And that just doesn't seem like it would be very comfortable. Like you'd want a canopy of some kind to keep it cool.
And right in the hot spot.
This is grounded into right field. It's a base hit for Susha. Haynes takes a wide turn at second base, has to get back. Was a little slow in getting back to second, nearly got tagged out, but everything works out for Trinity. Runners on first and second.
Yeah, good effort over there to try and sneak it out. Now, you mentioned the placement of this massage table. It's also right in a spot where a foul ball could very easily, take it out.
That's true. I didn't think about that. And you're not exactly in an athletic position to avoid the foul ball, given that you're laying on the massage table.
Yeah, how do you
really
lay there?
Not a lot you can do.
You just trust the doctor to protect you?
I was just going to say, that's a lot of trust in that guy. Nick Jones up, takes the ball outside, also squares up to bunt. Because he's got to let you know, and then you just got to tuck and roll, I guess.
And I'm very curious.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
See, that's what we're looking at.
Pretty soon, Cole, I'm going to be making a deal to get me on that table. I'm going to find a way.
Jones takes a strike, 1-1. It's a doubleheader. We might need it. They're staying here. We can do it after the game. Their flight's tomorrow. They don't got to get out of here.
You have time for one more. Just one more massage. Just one more.
Jones drops down the bunt. Fallman able to field it and throw to first. The sacrifice complete as both runners advance with one down.
Perfectly executed sacrifice bunt. Moves over both runners. Gets thrown out at first, but he does his job. Now all they have to do is lift something in the outfield and you get another run added on.
Runners on second and third after the sacrifice bunt from Jones. Brings up John Ramsey 0 for 1 today. Fly out to left. Ramsey gets out of the way of an inside pitch, ahead 1-0. 354 hitter on the season now. OPS still over 1,000. Runner on third is Haynes. The runner on second is Susha, who has a very big lead over there. Infield completely in. Haynes has to dive back. Close play at third.
Yeah, the rare third base pickoff for a right-handed pitcher. It can be very dangerous if you do it. Because if you somehow miss, it's a run scored. But it's also very dangerous for the runner because it's really hard to see coming. And a lot of times you're not paying as much attention.
Infield is completely in all the way around. Ramsey ahead of that pitch, taps it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Some big leads over there. Nobody holding on Susha at second base as he walks about a quarter of the way to third base already. Swing and a miss from Ramsey. Strike 2. Tigers out hitting Rhodes 7-0. Up 5-0. A base hit here would do even more damage. Head of that pitch again and taps it foul towards the Trinity dugout, housed on the third base side.
Cole, the craziest pickoff pitch I've ever seen, trick play, was they had both of the middle infielders up, so the runner was way far off the bag, and then they had the center fielder actually sneak up and cover the bag.
Ramsey hits this one in the air to right field. Larson under it. Runner tagging in Haynes to third. The throw is offline, and the run scores on the sacrifice fly. 6-0 Trinity.
Now, willingness to go the other way there for Ramsey and just pop one out there. Gives him an extra run.
So now it brings up Evan Kuhl. Anthony Susha also advancing from second base on the sacrifice fly to third. 2 down in the inning. Kuhl 1 for 1 with a base hit today. Another would bring in a run. Tries to drop down a bunt, pulls it back. We know this is a guy very capable of reaching on a bunt attempt.
You know, Cole, I have to admit, I'm a little bit sad we didn't see some trickery from Smith out there in center field. I was kind of hoping that they might do it.
He's pretty deep out there. Big cut and a miss from Cool, 1-1. That's a lot of ground to cover, but if there's anybody who can do it, it's him.
Right about that.
Saw that play yesterday where he hustled over to right center field to make that catch. Looked like it was easily going to fall. Didn't even dive for it. Pitch low and away. Count 2-1. He was running hard. It wasn't an easy play, but I think everybody else would have had to lunge for it.
At the very least.
2-1. Drops down the bunt. A pretty nice one, but it just rolls foul down the first base line. If that had stayed fair, it would have been a lot of trouble. Count now 2-2. Trinity up 6-0 off the sacrifice fly from Ramsey in this inning. They've scored in every inning so far. Takes a pitch away, and the count goes full with 2 down. Susha on third. The 3-2 pitch. Cool fouls it off, and will do it again.
Able to stay alive there.
Three and two again. Fouled off the other way. Sends it to the Rhodes dugout that time.
Yeah, he's doing a good job fighting off anything close. Really working in this at-bat.
It's been a long, grinding at-bat so far. Fallman trying to finish the job. Outside, ball 4, and the inning continues. Second time Evan Cool has reached today, and it flips the lineup over. And not the guy you want to see if you're a fan of the Rhodes Lynx, Caleb Woodward. Last time he was up, a 2-run double off the wall. 1 for 1 today. He's also walked. A .387 hitter on the year. Cool off and running on the first pitch. The throw will be cut off. Nicely done by Kuriger, as Trinity has been able to sneak in a run in the back door on that play in the past.
I almost wanted to see it go through because it seemed like that throw was pretty well timed. They might have been able to get him.
Cool takes second. Woodward lines it, and it's into center field off the glove. Susha scores from third. Here comes the next run in Evan Cool. A 2-run single for Caleb Woodward, his 4th RBI of the day, and it's 8-0.
Yeah, Kruger's going to be kicking himself over there at short, but that's a really difficult play to make. You can't be expected to bring that one down. It's really awkward positioning, and it came off the bat hot.
The in-betweener like that, do you catch it or let it hop? And unfortunately for Kruger, it hops right past his glove into center field, as the Tigers have blown this game open. Brings up Thomas Moss. He's 2 for 2. Pitch outside, 1-0. Moss ahead, 1-0. Takes a strike. Tigers trying to add on. They've already put up a crooked number in the bottom of the third. 3-run inning. Woodward on first with 2 down. 1 ball, 1 strike. Check on Woodward, gets back safely. Guy who stole 18 bases last year. Those numbers down with him dealing with the back injury all year. Still a guy who's able to run, though. takes his lead. Low and away, 2-1. You also got to think with the 8-0 lead, this takes some pressure off of the Trinity pitching staff. We saw how many arms they used yesterday, 8. And you were wondering how they were going to be able to cobble this together for 2 games. And now all of a sudden you can maybe save Hellings and Taylor for game 3.
Yeah, and it really gives Johnson the freedom to just kind of settle in and work. Doesn't have to worry about letting 1 or 2 runs across because they have a lot of run support.
Moss looking to extend this inning. Ahead 3 balls and 1 strike. Moss cranks one to deep left field. Going back. Is it fair or foul? And it is foul.
Sheesh.
Nearly cleared the net and left.
Got every piece of that one. And some deep balls like that, you see them off the bat and they go real high, and that's how they get the distance. That one was a line drive.
See how close this was. Right off the pole on the netting. Couldn't be more than a couple feet to the left in foul ground. Goes down as a very long strike 2. The 3-2 pitch. Woodward off and running. Ground ball. Kruger makes the play this time. Throws to first in time. And that ends the inning, but not before Trinity strikes with 3 runs in the 3rd. We head to the 4th, and San Antonio Tigers up 8-0. Top of the 4th in San Antonio, Texas. Tate Johnson still on the mound, so the same arm on the mound for the Tigers, but a new arm on the massage table for Rhodes, it looks like. Further developments coming on that one. Martins fouls a pitch in the air. Looks like it will be a foul ball, and it is harmlessly into the Rhodes bullpen.
Dangerously close to the massage table, though.
It's a situation we were talking about.
And it seems like
that's Kruger, second baseman, getting in on the action.
Yeah, spreading the love. Everybody's getting on the table.
Martins takes a ball.
Guess that helps make our case for the end of the game.
Well, we've got 2 batters in between him and Martins, so he's got to get ready soon. It's got to be a quick massage because he's in the hole soon. Pitch outside to Martins. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rare time that Johnson has fallen behind. Here's a fly ball to deep left field. Woodward going back at at the wall. It's history. The single-season home run record. It belongs to Corbin Martins, his 14th of the year.
Wow, that one just sounded different. I mean, off the bat, I think my ears are still ringing. Able to claim the record in the deep part of the yard. That's impressive.
A record that has stood since 1986 is now in second place. And he got all of that one. Now Ben Daniel up to the plate. 0 for 1 in today's game. Had to get out of a way of a pitch that was a little awry. And now Dave Smith coming out to talk to Tate Johnson for the first time today. Had been cruising before that home run.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're having talks about taking him out of the game quite yet. He's had such a dominant outing so far. Just, one mistake pitch allowed that home run.
A quick meeting at that. And this is what the run support allows Tate Johnson to do. Still a 7-run Trinity lead. Will now face Ben Daniel. 8 multi-hit games in his last 13, counting yesterday. Line drive up the middle into center field, a base hit. So after not allowing a hit through the first 3 innings, Johnson has allowed back-to-back.
Yeah, it seems like maybe they got the report on him. Hey, guys, first pitch. He's given us a fastball in the zone about 70% of the time, so be up there swinging.
All this trouble coming in the second time through the order. Now the cleanup hitter Cooper Angley will come up to the plate. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Big cut and a miss at the first pitch. Strike 1. First 2 batters of the inning have reached for Rhodes, the record-breaking home run for Corbin Martins, and Ben Daniel on first base with a base hit. Pitch misses up. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's now some movement in the Trinity bullpen. You would imagine that they want Johnson to go as long as possible because of what we were talking about earlier. Pitch misses low and away, 2-1. Tigers used 8 arms in yesterday's game. And they have 18 innings to get through today. Finds the zone, strike 2. Count now even, 2-2. Daniel on first. Swinging a foul ball off the end of the bat. Angley able to stay alive.
It looks like they have McGowan and Beck up there moving around just in case in the bullpen, but hoping to see if Johnson can get out of this inning. Really, that'll probably solidify himself in a spot, good place for the end of the season, going into the postseason.
Here's a line drive out to left field, and this is going all the way to the wall. Daniel will stop at third, throw into second. And the hit parade continues. 3 in a row for Rhodes, a double for Angley.
And this has got to be so frustrating for Johnson. He's been so dominant today. And seems like they sort of just flipped the switch.
Three consecutive hits given up by Tate Johnson, 2 of them extra base hits. There'll be Miles Kruger coming up.
Looks like they'll go to the bullpen. I think it's McGowan here.
Looks like Tate Johnson's day will be done. Johnson faces nearly the minimum through the first 3 innings, but runs into trouble in the 4th. And now his day is done. A new arm on the mound when we come back to San Antonio. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. A familiar arm on the mound in this series. It's John McGowan back out there for the second consecutive day. So he fires strike one to Miles Kruger. McGowan pitched in yesterday's game through an inning, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, only one of them earned, struck out 2 and walked 1. This comes into this game with nobody out, runners on second and third. Flips a slider in for a strike, ahead 0-2. Kruger 0 for 1 in this game, struck out looking against Tate Johnson, who was responsible for the 2 runners on currently. Outside edge. Trinity dugout wanted it. They do not get the call. Looked outside though.
Yeah, that one seemed to be out. I think it was the breaking ball as well, so that one braked hard out of the zone. I don't think that should have been called.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside and low. Count evens 2-2. Not a lot of wind today, but this is the windiest it's been. The flag's blowing directly out to center field now. Two. Just off the end of the bat. Kruger barely staying alive.
Yeah, not typically what you see out of this ballpark. Typically it's more of a windy type situation, but today wind not really as much of a factor as it normally would be.
Rhodes trying to take advantage, maybe with the ball in the air. 2-2. Line to right field. Susha over, and it lets it fall in front of him. 1 run comes around, another slips at third base. That was Angley, who was rounding third, just couldn't stay on his feet.
Yeah, I think if he stays on his feet there, he's probably scoring another run.
So maybe a break for Trinity. Still an RBI single from Kruger, makes it 8-2. Still nobody out in the inning. That run charged to Tate Johnson. Now 4 consecutive hits in the frame. And already a quick meeting from Dave Smith. And that's actually going to be a change. McGowan faces one batter, gives up a base hit, and his day is done. New arm in the mound when we come back. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. The third arm of the inning enters the game for Trinity, and it's Jake Beck. Beck, the sophomore from Austin, Texas, making his 11th appearance. Comes in with a 3-1 record through 37 innings pitched. ERA at 6.57. Opportunity to lower that in today's outing. Strikeout to walk ratio, very nice. 36-12. Enters this game with nobody out and runners at the corners. First pitch popped up into the air. See if it's playable. Haynes giving it a look and makes the catch in foul ground. Angley thought about tagging from third, but will head back, and it's out number one.
Yeah, good job by Haynes over there at second base, covering a lot of ground and then flipping around quickly, not allowing that run to score.
So Trishelle retired on the F4, and it brings up Shine Barron, the left fielder. Flew out to right the only other time he was up. 0 for 1 today. Runners at the corners, one down. Pitch in the dirt, ball one from Beck.
Good work behind the plate to body that one up, not let that one by. Had to move over for it, but still able to get in front and keep it in front of him.
1-0. In the dirt again. Moss again keeping it in front of him. All those plays very important with Angley waiting there on third.
You know, I've always wondered, with this backstop, would it not be the worst idea in the world to maybe let one go by and try and get the out at home?
It's definitely risky.
It's risky, but high risk, high reward.
2-0 misses, now 3-0. Beck in danger of walking the bases loaded. And time called, I believe, telling Beck he needs to engage. The one issue with that strategy is you need to ensure that, one, it takes the right angle, and two, it is not interfered with on the way there. So you can't touch it at all, because if it slows down, it does not have the same bounce.
Yeah, I'm not much of a gambler. I wouldn't go for it.
3-0's in for a strike. Again, Beck has not walked a lot of batters this year. When he's given up runs, it's been because he's gotten hit. And a dangerous 3-1 pitch coming up. Ahead of it and fouls it right above the Trinity dugout.
And Beck, I don't think that ERA confidently shows the body of work that he's put together both this season and last season. He's been a guy that Tigers have really relied heavily on the bump. Took that role last season and has brought it in this year. Been someone that they rely on a lot for a lot of innings.
The 3-2 with one down. Runners at the corners. As they check on Kruger at first, who gets back safely. Three balls, two strikes. In the dirt, that is ball four, and it loads the bases. So the first walk of the inning handed out by Trinity pitching. And now it brings up Cooper Kruger. Last time we saw him, he was on the massage table. And we'll see how much work that did. 0 for 1 today with a fly out to center field. Comes in a big spot with the bases loaded. Low and inside, ball one. Beck, in his last appearance against Sewanee, was a start where he pitched an inning in 2/3, gave up 8 hits, struck out 3, only walked 1, but gave up 6 earned runs. Down 1-0. Here's a fly ball, left center field. See who calls it. It's Woodward who makes the catch. Angley tagging from third. The throw will go to third, and it's just a little offline. Now they go to second, try and get the out there, but everybody is safe. A sacrifice fly for Kruger, and it's 8-3.
Yeah, it does the job there. Gets the run scored, brings that lead down just a bit.
And an opportunity to make some Trinity fans at home and in the crowd a little nervous with a base hit here, and maybe the guy that they would one up in this situation in Austin Smith. The only qualified hitter on this team who's hitting above 400. A walk in his only plate appearance. Takes a ball inside. Austin Smith, a .413 hitter on the year, a 2-hit game in game 1. Breaking ball lands for a strike, 1-1. Cooper Kruger hitting the sacrifice fly to make the score 8-3. Kruger waiting on third, Barron waiting on second, both of them advancing on that play. 1-1 misses low.
And Smith, part of the reason why he's been such a thorn in the side of the Trinity pitchers is he's just incredibly patient up there. He waits until he gets something that he absolutely has to swing at.
The 2-1 with 2 down in the inning. Strike called. Evens the count at 2-2. A big spot for Austin Smith. Runners on second and third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down in the inning. Breaking ball misses, another nice take. And just like that, the count runs full. Smith reaches all 9 Rhodes links, will come to bat in the inning. The 3-2. Grounded to Anderson at third. Makes the throw across the diamond. The pick from Baker that ends the inning. The throw was low, but Will Baker able to scoop it for out number 3. Tigers get the final out, but Rhodes plates 3 in the 4th. They trail by 5 in San Antonio. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Will Baker coming up to the plate, 0 for 1 today. Takes a strike. Fallman still out there for Rhodes. Came in the 2nd inning and has pitched ever since, now in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch misses outside, evens the count at 1-1. His offense able to knock in a couple of runs. You figured they would eventually, where they rank in the country, being top 100 in several categories, a tick above Trinity in most of them. Pitch outside, 2-1, but Rhodes particularly shining in the power numbers, and we saw that with the record-breaking home run in the last inning. Their 38th of the year coming into the weekend. They had the 24th most home runs in Division III baseball. So some expected run support coming. Fallman trying to hold this deficit at 5, but falls behind 3-1 to Baker. Pitch outside, ball 4, and for the 4th consecutive inning, the leadoff man is aboard for Trinity.
Yeah, great job being selective there by Baker. Didn't have to take a swing. All 4 of those pitches, 5 I should say.
Brings up Grant Anderson, 1 for 2. Base hit in the 1st, a strikeout in the 2nd, his 3rd plate appearance of the day. Tigers have scored a run in every inning so far, have scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings. Trying to continue that momentum even though they were not swinging the bat for a while. First pitch misses well outside. Anderson ahead 1-0. That's got to be an interesting shift when you're swinging the bat that well, and then you have to stand out there on defense for so long. These Trinity hitters were out there through multiple pitching changes and 3 runs for Rhodes. Baker has to dive back safely on the pickoff attempt.
Yeah, a bit of an antithesis to the first 3 innings. Working incredibly quickly to get 3 outs.
The 1-0 to Anderson. Ropes one into left field. It gets down for a base hit. Second hit of the day for Grant Anderson, and there's 2 aboard with nobody out.
Anderson does a great job staying through it there. Just pops one right out into where you want it to be. Not too hard. I think if he gets a little bit more under it, that's a fly out. So does a really good job staying through it and getting the line drive hit there.
So he soft serves one into left field. Runners on first and second for Sawyer Haynes. Haynes hits a fly ball to center field. Smith going back on it. Baker looks like he might tag, and he does. Throw will go to second instead. So Baker able to take third. Runners at the corners with one down. And now an opportunity for Anthony Susha to drive in an insurance run. His team up 5. Runners at the corners with one down. Susha has grounded into a double play today, but also has a base hit. That came in the third. Hitting .348 on the year. And now has a hit in his last 8 appearances. As we'll get a full infield and battery meeting for Rhodes. Pretty important for them to get out of this situation with no runs scored, already down 5.
Yeah, they don't want to have more insurance runs added on, making that comeback even more difficult.
Meeting continues. Looks like they will stick with Fallman, who came in the second inning. Home plate umpire will step onto the mound to break up the meeting. Tough to tell from our angle if they have anybody throwing. Haven't heard any action in the Rhodes bullpen. Only used 2 pitchers in game 1, so have a lot of guys ready to go if need be. But still riding with Fallman here in game 2, the second arm they've used today. Susha standing in. Takes a strike. As that is Kuriger, the second baseman, charging in to try and field the bunt.
Came all the way down there.
So again, some interesting defensive alignment from Rhodes. Trishelle is playing in on the infield grass. So is Kuriger at second. But Kruger at short backed up to normal depth. Pitch misses low and away, 1-1. And then Martins is holding on the runner at first. So a lot of space on either side for Susha to lay one in. Susha sends one out to left field. Barron makes the catch, and the throw will go to second, so the run will score in Baker from third. The sacrifice fly extends the lead. It's 9-3.
Yeah, we've seen it here a lot today. Just a willingness to do a job by the Trinity hitters. When they need a fly ball in the outfield, they have provided.
So the sacrifice fly. That is the third run brought in by way of a sacrifice fly today for Trinity. So a third of the runs they have on the board. 2 down in the inning for Nick Jones with a runner on. Jones 1 for 1 today. That's a close pickoff, and they got him. Caught Anderson leaning the other way, and that ends the inning. But not before Trinity scores in their 4th consecutive inning. They have a 6-run lead as we head to the 5th. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Top of the Rhodes lineup up to bat in Brad Larson. 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a fly out. Still a .359 hitter on the season. Takes a strike from Beck, who remains on the mound after finishing the last inning. Actually got credit for pitching the entirety of the inning. Came in with no outs and 2 runners on. Managed to wiggle out of it. Breaking ball misses that time, 1-1.
Able to come in and extinguish the flames a little bit last inning, and hopefully the fire doesn't even start this one.
Tigers tacking on a valuable insurance run, up 9-3, which was the score in reverse of game 1. Rhodes winning 9-3 last night. Check swing did not go around. Beck falling behind 2-1. Talking to Coach Schreier before this doubleheader, and he said that that was only the second night game that Rhodes had played all year. Said that the environment was pretty new to the team. It's a pretty young group overall. As we said yesterday, they're starting 4 to 6 first years pretty much every game. This is fouled off, out of play the other way. Count now 2-2. And said a game of this importance and a night game, the atmosphere, just something new to them, and felt that they handled it really well.
How have they avoided playing a night game?
That's a great question. I have looked at their past games. I did not look at the time of those games. Huh. So that came as a surprise to me. But did not play one. Ball in the dirt, count runs full, nobody on, nobody out. I would assume you play the doubleheader to start, which you start early. And then you play the game pretty early the next day. That's what the Tigers did against Southwestern a couple of weekends ago. And I believe Sewanee last weekend as well. Pitch low and inside, and it is a leadoff walk for Larson to get things going in the inning. And that brings up Corbin Martins. Last time he was up, he hit a record-breaking home run. His 14th of the season, the program record for Rhodes. And you'll see it again here. Got absolutely all of that baseball. An emphatic way to break the record. It was the first run that Rhodes had scored today. Scored 3 in the inning as he takes strike 1.
Yeah, good way to start off the inning is a bomb to the deep part of the yard. Really got it going for him.
Was also his first hit of the series. The Tigers had kept him in check prior to that point. Had walked a couple of times in last night's game. Big cut and a miss at the breaking ball. Down 0-2. Runner on first with nobody out. Beck still working in the 5th. The 0-2. This is lobbed and caught. They try and throw back to first, and it's a double play. Ramsey able to catch the soft liner in the awareness to throw back to Baker at first. They turn 2.
Really heads up baseball by Ramsey over there at shortstop.
And not something you usually see on a line drive that is that soft. Was not hit very hard.
Yeah, sort of caught him off guard over there at first and fired it over there. Good arm strength on display there.
And then also from all the way across the other side of the diamond as well. I feel like usually it would be a line drive at second when you would see that happening.
Yeah.
But Ramsey with the nice play at short to turn 2. And all of a sudden 2 down in the inning for Ben Daniel with nobody on. Daniel, a base hit the last time he was up, 1 for 2 today. Takes ball 1. The 1-0. Breaking ball just gets a piece of it for strike one. Large crowd on hand today, both Rhodes and Trinity supporters, but it's been brought to my attention that there is a very special person in the audience today. Reed Rosales' dad is in camera in the blue shirt to the right. Pitch misses low, 2-1. Of course, Reed Rosales, graduating last year, was my broadcast partner last year. Worked with Tiger Network for all 4 years of his Trinity career. Fouled off, 2-2. Beck trying to work a little bit of an unorthodox 1-2-3 inning. Getting the double play on the line out. Now the 2-2. This is lined out to deep right field, going back at the wall, and making the catch on the warning track is Susha. Able to back all the way up to the wall right in front of the Tigers' World Series appearances in right. And that is how the inning ends. Halfway through this one in San Antonio. To the bottom of the fifth we go. Tigers up 6. Welcome back to overcast San Antonio, Texas. The Tigers up 9-3 in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Nick Jones will lead things off for the Tigers. Takes ball 1 inside. Ended the last inning at the plate. Was up to the plate when Grant Anderson got picked off at first base to end the inning. So gets a redo of his at-bat. Ahead 1-0. As he softly hits this one to right field. Right under it is Larson. And it's a quick out, number 1.
Yeah, good job going the other way with it. But if he wants that ball to go anywhere, he's going to have to put a little bit more behind it. I think he just kind of put his hands out there to keep it from being a strike and ended up popping out.
Brings up John Ramsey. Big part of how the last half inning went with his headsy double play. Takes ball 1. Ramsey 0 for 1 today. Does have a sacrifice fly RBI. Average at 354 currently. Gets out of the way of an inside pitch, 2-0. And Shepard, once again, the shift is happening at second base. See Kuriger on your screen, number 37, is to the other side of second base. Ramsey way ahead of this one, pulls it foul down the third base line.
So they didn't go the breaking ball there. Hard to tell if that was a changeup or a fastball. So I'm not sure what situations they're using that interesting shift.
Still over there right now. Breaking ball that time, foul tip into the glove of Angley. Levels the count at 2-2. Didn't really see that at all yesterday. But Kerger remains on his right side of second base. Swing and a miss from Ramsey. He's gone, and there's 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, when they have that shift on, seems like maybe they're attacking the inside part of the zone, forcing them to either come and attack it or swing under it.
Now Kerger heads back to his usual side of second base as Evan Cool steps to the plate and gets hit on the first pitch. So Evan Cool wears that one, doesn't lean into it, and heads to first base.
One of the quickest at-bats you'll see. Barely had time to announce that he's stepping up.
Speaking of not leaning into it, Caleb Woodward.
Did not lean into it yesterday.
According to some. Not the opinions that matter. Takes a strike. Works with Cool on first base. 2 down in the inning after the 2-out walk. Woodward has reached in all 3 of his plate appearances a walk, a double, and a single. Cool caught leaning the other way, and now he's in a rundown. See if he can escape this one. Still throwing it back and forth, and now tagged to end the inning. So 2 consecutive innings end on a base running mistake for Trinity, and it takes us to the 6th. Tigers with the 9-3 lead on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City, where the sun is starting to come back out for a little bit. Tigers up 9-3 in the 6th inning. Jake Beck back out there as he'll face Cooper Angley. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back for ball 1. Angley 1 for 2 today, a double that came in the 4th inning. He's also struck out looking. Beck, the 3rd Tiger on the mound today. This is grounded the other way, past the dive of Baker into right field. Leadoff single for Angley gets things going for Rhodes. And it brings up the shortstop Kruger. Miles Kruger, 1 for 2 today. Strikeout and a base hit. Breaking ball finds the zone. Strike called. Beck trying to work around more traffic. Has allowed a base runner in each of the 2 innings he's thrown. But still, the last inning was a 1-2-3 inning because of the double play. The 0-1. Outside, Moss has to pick it. Tigers trying to build the bridge to their late inning relievers and navigate this situation in middle relief. 1-1. Pitch misses. A nice block from Moss. Stops Angley from advancing. We were talking about the situation being up 6 runs, probably right on that line where maybe you want to throw one of your wills in the bullpen, Taylor or Hellings. But also, if you can extend this lead, you would love to save both of them for game 3.
Seeing a little bit of movement in the bullpen as well. We have the lefty Morio.
Runner off and going. This ball is popped up sky high.
Just barely misses the roof.
I was going to say, I had no idea where that landed. I was waiting for the sound, and nothing ever happened.
It went right behind the fans.
This is what we have you here for. Angley goes back to first, a 2-2 count. Still nobody out. Breaking ball, well located for strike 3. First strikeout of the inning for Jake Beck, and there's 1 gone.
And update on the massage table. There is no one out there.
There hasn't been anybody there for a little bit now.
No. I'm very tempted.
Hey, head down there. We'll get you a wireless mic. Maybe a sideline reporter. Multitasking, still getting paid. Brendan Trishelle now up. Takes a breaking ball low and away for ball 1. 0 for 2 today. Still a 248 hitter on the year. OPS just below 800 with 4 home runs. Ahead of this one and fouls it down the third base line. Right past his head coach who's over there.
Stone cold, didn't really move. Probably would have jumped.
Would have covered my head and ran away. No, not dealing with that. The 1-1 pitch with 1 down. Swing and a miss. So I hate to bring up the massage table again. But at this point, nobody's been on it for so long. I feel like it'd be really hot because, as we mentioned earlier, they did not put it under a canopy.
Yeah, maybe it would have been smart to lay out a towel or something.
Yeah, I think just even that would have done the job. Runner goes, Moss throws in time, and they got him.
Excellent throw behind the dish for Moss. That one was on a line.
A seed from Thomas Moss. Had to come out of his crouch anyways to catch the high pitch, and it works out well for him. So Angley retired on the caught stealing as Trishelle stands back in with 2 down and nobody on. Pitch low and away. Brings the count to 2-2. So Beck an opportunity at a second consecutive 1-2-3 inning where he allows a base runner to reach. Count actually at 3-2. Inside, and that's ball 4. So Beck will not get that 1-2-3 inning, allows the 2-out walk to reach. Brings up Shine Barron, the left fielder. Walked the last time he was up, 0 for 1 overall. Got to think even with 2 down in the inning, it's a big inning for this Rhodes offense. Understanding that the Trinity big relievers might be coming into this game a little later.
Yeah,
swing and a miss.
You'd rather not leave it up to hoping to get runs off of them. Their specialties coming in late in the game and shutting it down.
And they would have less work to do than normal. Both Will Hellings and Will Taylor accustomed to essentially getting a 6-out save. The 0-1 is blooped into left field and it falls for a base hit. So back-to-back 2-out base runners for Rhodes and an opportunity to strike in the inning. Goes down as the first hit of the game for Shine Barron, and it brings up Kuriger. Cooper Kuriger, the second baseman today. 0 for 1, has a sacrifice fly RBI today. That came in the 4th when Rhodes scored all 3 of the runs. Now works with runners on first and second. Takes ball 1. Not really any action for Trinity in the bullpen. There had been some earlier, so you wonder if A, they trust Beck to get out of this, or B, somebody's already ready. Fouled in on the hand, strike 1.
I think with 2 outs, you trust him to get out of this one. And if he starts to get into trouble again, you maybe get Morio up and moving around again. And he was throwing enough. He should be pretty close if they need him. So
2 down in the inning. Runners on first and second. They try the back pick. Trishelle has to get back to second base safely. Does so standing up. Trishelle waiting on second base. Barron on first after the 2-out single. Fastball lands for a strike. 1-2. Beck trying to get out of the 6th unscathed. Trying to preserve his team's 6-run lead. Breaking ball hit the other way into right field. Susha going back and makes the catch that ends the inning. Opportunity for Rhodes to thin the deficit, but they can't do it. Back-to-back scoreless frames thrown by Jake Beck. Takes us to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. The leadoff man, Caleb Woodward, up to bat to start this inning. Bottom of the sixth, Trinity with the 9-3 lead. Woodward ahead, 1 ball, no strikes. Still facing Thalman, who remains on the mound. Woodward ropes this, but foul off the pole on the screen.
And back onto the field.
Made a dong. Should get points for that.
Yeah.
1-1. This one's hit the other way into left, and it falls for a base hit. A 3-hit day for Caleb Woodward, who's reached all 4 times.
You can't stop the ginger train.
Is that what they call him?
You know?
I haven't heard that one before.
I think I've heard that. I might have just made that up.
Well, he's on first.
Choo-choo.
Moss squares up to bunt, pulls it back for a strike. Trishelle playing very in at third base, ready for it. Is charging on the infield grass. See if the train gets running here. He's on first. Not a big lead, but has his lead. Good thing it wasn't very big. Dives back safely. Of course, back-to-back innings have ended for Trinity on base running mistakes.
Yeah, possibly being a little bit more cautious in the base path here. Maybe considering not have him going in motion just in case.
Check on him again. That throw a little bit wild. Martins had to stay standing up to get that one. Almost had to collect it for a second. Ryan Fallman remaining out there. Starter Shumway went an inning and a third. Fallman's been in the game ever since. And he's, for the most part, held this deficit. This is roped into left field, and it's going all the way to the wall. Woodward sprinting around second, heads for third, and he will stop there. A 3-hit day for Thomas Moss, who has a single, a triple, and now a double.
You know.
1 away.
1 away. He almost did it earlier.
Very close. Moss now 3 for 4 today, and the one time he got out was a mere 3-ish feet away from what he needs for the cycle. Game of inches.
That would have been cool to see. But the way he's swinging it, if he comes up again, I could see it happening.
Brings up Will Baker. Runners on second and third, infield all the way in for Rhodes. They try to get Woodward at third. They do not like him on the bases. Trying to eliminate him. No more.
No more ginger train.
Trying to slow it down. Baker hitless today. Has a sacrifice fly RBI. Takes a strike. He's also walked. Big insurance runs out there with the way that Rhodes can swing the bat. Baker fouls this one off out of play. Clears the roof.
Almost got onto the football field.
Now down 0-2. Fallman trying to wiggle his way out of this one. Woodward on third, Moss on second. Pitch outside. A base hit and a double, getting this inning going for Trinity. Trying to get into double digits in the run column. The 1-2. Outside 2-2.
Yeah, tried to get him with the high fastball there. Trying to get the swing and miss, but he wouldn't bite on it.
Tigers out hitting Rhodes 8-6 so far today, leading 9-3. Trying to extend that lead. The 2-2. Inside breaking ball, strike 3 called. And Baker goes down looking for out number 1.
That's frustrating. It's one of those tweeners that's really difficult to get to, but still probably a strike called. It's one of those that really just not much you can do but just try and fight it off.
Now it's Grant Anderson, 2 for 3 today. Pitch misses low. Anderson with 2 singles in today's game, the last one coming in the 4th inning. Ground ball picked. They throw home, try to get the out there, and they do. Kruger with a nice pick at short makes the throw home. The aggressive play pays off for out number 2.
Yeah, Woodward not actually able to get his hand on the home plate. Tries to slide in there and not even able to touch it.
You saw that pretty clearly on the replay. We have a very good look from up here on the roof at home plate. Did not get his hand on it.
Yeah, Angley behind the plate did a pretty good job covering up most of the plate, not allowing him to get an easy path to the plate.
And now all of a sudden, 2 down in the inning for Sawyer Haynes, who takes a strike. Now runners on first and second as Woodward is nabbed at home. Sawyer Haynes, over a 300 hitter this year. 0 for 1 today, has reached with a hit by pitch and a walk. Haynes fouls it into the screen. Down 0-2. Fallman allowed the first 2 Tigers in this inning to reach a single and a double. Runners on second and third with nobody out. Now first and second with 2 down. The 0-2. This is hit in the air, center field. Smith under it and makes the catch that ends the inning. Fallman gets out of the jam unscathed and sends us to the 7th. Trinity still up 6. Top of the 7th inning on the campus of Trinity University. Tigers have had a 9-3 lead for quite a while now, ever since the 4th inning. It's the lead they hang on to here in the 7th. Austin Smith will lead things off. The 9-hole hitter. Takes strike 1 from Jake Beck. Smith hitless in today's game so far, 0 for 1 overall. He has walked in one of his 2 plate appearances. This is 3rd time up. This is chopped foul.
So a little bit different from what we've seen from Smith, being aggressive here early.
Finds himself in a 1-1 count. Breaking ball misses well low and away. Now with 2-1 hitters count. Tiger pitching, about to make their 4th trip around the sun, as it were. 4th time through the order. Breaking ball misses in the dirt, and Beck falls behind 3-1. Talked a little bit about how he doesn't walk a lot of batters. He's walked 3 so far today through 3 innings.
Yeah, maybe trying to combat the struggles he's had in the past with a lot of base hits. So trying to get more swing and misses, but not really worked out for him as well as we'd hoped.
2-2 is tapped foul. Smith, staying alive, was ahead of that one.
But even with a couple of walks, still been able to be very competitive out there, not allowing many runs to score.
Hardest the wind has blown all day, going out to center field. Maybe you hear it in our microphones. It'll be the first time all series, probably, which might be a new record.
Yeah, that's
for the latest that's happened. This is hit out to left field. Cool backs up on it and makes the catch, 1 away. So flips the lineup over. Brings Larson to the plate, the leadoff man today. Larson walked the last time he was up, 0 for 2 overall. Last time he was on base when he walked was doubled off by John Ramsey on the soft liner. Takes a pitch near his shoes, 1-0. There is some stirring in the Trinity bullpen, as now it is Will Taylor who's walking around. No throwing yet, but we've seen Morio, Hellings, and Taylor all up, the 3 guys that you would imagine would be put in to finish this game if Beck can't do it.
All just sort of lumbering around in the bullpen.
Beck falling behind 2-0. Dealing with the tough part of this Rhodes lineup. Really starts with Smith. Could argue even Kuriger in the 8-hole, who's hitting over 300. Hit high in the air, deep to left field. Cool going back at the wall, and it's way gone. Larson with his first hit of the day, and it goes over the fence for a home run. Brings the score to 9-4. Rhodes getting a run back.
And when you get ahead in the count like that, exponentially, your batting average is going to go up. So something different than what we've seen out of Jake Beck's counterparts on the Trinity pitching. They were able to get ahead in counts early, and not so much the case with Jake Beck today. Hoping to see him possibly start off the counts a little bit earlier.
Brings up Corbin Martins, 1 for 2 today. With the other home run that Rhodes has hit. Beck missing with his first pitch, 1-0. Martins has also walked today, reached base twice. Ropes this one out to left field. Cool gets a read on it and makes the catch. So a lot of balls hit out to Evan Cool, but he's making the best of it for out number 2.
Yeah, that one looked like it was 2-iron off the tee. That thing came out hot and flat.
So some deep contact on Beck for all 3 batters, but 2 of them are out. And now he faces Ben Daniel, the designated hitter. 1 for 3 today. Nearly a 370 hitter on the year, takes strike 1. OPS at 980. Base hit came in the 4th inning. So Rhodes scored 3 of now 4 runs. Ahead of that one, grounds it foul, down 0-2. You'd assume at this point for Trinity, you feel comfortable placing whichever reliever you decide to finish the game with. And at this point, whatever Beck does is pretty much bonus.
Yeah, and the guys that they're probably going to put in for the rest of this have shown that they can go even longer.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Moss has to tag him out, and now does. A little bit of a delay, but it's out number 3. Tigers up 9-4. Another scoreless inning thrown by Jake Beck. Time to stretch in San Antonio, bottom of the 7th, coming up next. Welcome back to Trinity, Texas. Anthony Susha set to lead off the inning for the Tigers, the bottom of the 7th. Takes ball 1 from Fallman, who remains out there. This has been a bullpen game for quite a while, ever since the 4th inning. Susha thought about it. They appeal, and he did not go. Massage tables being used again.
Oh, good.
So somebody had to deal with the initial burn, I assume. Now they're back on there. Susha fouls that into the screen right in front of us.
It's a quick fix to just pour some water on it.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Got a little bit more cloud coverage as well now.
Really nice out now. The wind's kicked up a little bit, but nowhere near what we've had in the past. For those of you who have tuned into our games prior to this, we've had some windy days. Susha lines this one. Is it caught? No. So Kruger has to make the throw, does so on 2 hops, and it's picked by Martins for out number 1. Another one of those in-betweeners hit at Kruger. Handles it well this time, though.
And I'm glad it is not me over there having to deal with those.
Brings up the designated hitter, Nick Jones. Jones flew out to right field very softly the last time he was up. Also has a base hit and a sacrifice bunt today. Takes ball 1. Pitch way inside, and it hits Jones. So he's aboard for the second time today with one down.
Looked at that one. Might have got him in the butt cheek.
It's a good place.
Yeah, nice and soft.
Take that over almost anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it looks like that might be the last pitch that Fallman throws today. Came in the second inning and allowed 5 runs. As he departs from this game, the third arm of the game for Rhodes comes in next. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. New arm on the mound for Rhodes is Reed Lampert. Comes in with 1 inning pitch so far this season. Struck out 1, did not allow an earned run. And comes into a situation where he's trying to hold this deficit with a runner on first against John Ramsey, a .351 hitter on the year. Takes a pitch low and away for ball 2. Ramsey hitless today. A sacrifice fly RBI in the third. Struck out the last time he was up. They check on Jones at first, who dives back safely. Fallman threw 5 innings, allowed 5 runs, but gave Rhodes the length that they needed. Jones just steps back this time, was basically already at the bag.
Yeah, looks like Coach Deering over there telling him to take a small lead. Don't need a huge one. Had several base running mistakes earlier today.
Ramsey sends this one high and foul. Nobody has a play. Goes down to strike 1. Of course, the obvious interesting thing about Lampert is how slow he throws the ball. Fastball looked like it was coming in around 75 miles per hour, is breaking stuff in the mid-60s. So something the Tigers will have to adjust to. A soft pickoff attempt as Jones again steps back. Two and 1. Ramsey cuts and misses. Evens the count at 2-2.
How about that? Got it by him.
Definitely one way to do it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Jones on first, and he steps back safely again. They do not like him over there.
Yeah, I can imagine why they're going to the pickoff move so much. They've had success with them today.
Ramsey hits this one opposite field. Will it be playable? No, it lands in the Rhodes bullpen. Right by the massage table. Exactly what we were worried about.
Luckily, the massager able to get the pitcher off the massage table in time. Didn't end up hitting it, but
alert.
Good heads-up massaging.
I guess masseuses are athletes too. Maybe more than pitchers.
I would be willing to bet.
The 2-2. Ramsey cranks this one out to deep left field. Going back. How far will he send this one? To Trinity and beyond.
Wow, that was a moonshot.
All the way to the top of the trees in left field. His 8th home run of the year.
And I hope you didn't park over there, Cole, because that was into the parking lot.
See it again. The left side of the screen. Into the leaves. Evan Kuhl tries to drop down a bunt. Goes down to strike one. Seen some long home runs so far this year. Cal Coney's had a few. Those happened against TLU, but that one may have been the furthest.
That one went a long way.
Brings the score to 11-4 as Kuhl sends one out to center field. Smith ranges over to his right and makes the catch for out number 2. Quite the way to greet the new arm from the bullpen. A long, drawn-out at-bat. Multiple foul balls, a 2-2 count, and Ramsey seals the deal. Now it's Caleb Woodward up to the plate. 3-hit day for him today. And add another one, not with the bat, with the ball. Gets hit.
Do you think he moved?
I'm going to go with no. Home plate umpire says no.
So this time he gets the hit by pitch.
All good this time.
I think he was very extra careful that time to stay completely still while the ball hit him.
The 5th time that Woodward has been aboard. 2 singles, a double, a hit by pitch, and a walk. So Thomas Moss has worked with a runner aboard every single time he's been up, and an opportunity for something very special that we have not seen on this field, at least in my time here. 3 for 4 today. Runner goes. Woodward is safe. Throw a little bit offline. Herger had to get out of the way, and Woodward has the stolen base with 2 down in the inning.
And I got to hand it to Angley. His throws have been on time every single time he's thrown down. I mean, really the only thing that's kept him from throwing them out every time they've gone is just placement.
Moss sends one to deep right field, going back at the wall on the warning track, and he just missed it.
Wow, for a second I thought he had it.
A few feet shy of the cycle, and that is how the inning ends. Trinity tacks on 2. A 2-run shot from John Ramsey makes it 11-4 and sends us to the 8th in San Antonio. Welcome back to the Alamo City Tigers with their largest lead of the day, 11-4. Jake Beck back out there and throwing strikes. Throw strike one to Cooper Angley. Angley, the cleanup hitter today, the catcher who has reached in both of his last 2 plate appearances a double and a single in a 2-hit day. Sends this one foul onto the roof. 1, 2. And it hit a hill.
I think it was just 2.
Yeah, it just caught that slope. That's the thing that a lot of people, or at least I didn't realize about roofs before I spent so much time on one, was that it's not flat. There's a lot of hills. Very subtle up and down. This is hit very shallowly to right field. Baker going back and making the catch right above the foul line for out number 1.
Well, they can't make the roof flat because if they made it flat, there would be a huge drainage problem.
Yes, that's what I was told the first time I brought this up. But at the same time, we all have gaps in knowledge. That was just mine before I came up here. Just not very familiar with. I'm not an engineer. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I'm a comm major. That's why I talk. That's why I don't build bridges.
But now that you know that, just general knowledge of everything now. You're omnipotent.
Yeah. We're working on it. Miles Kruger in the batter's box. Struck out looking twice, but also has a base hit. 1 for 3 today. 1 down, nobody on against Beck. He was into his 4th inning of work. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. 1-1. Yeah, you would not want to go on my bridges. No. Good thing that there are not bridges that exist because of me. I wouldn't go on my own bridge. Swing and a miss at the 1-1.
Did you ever do one of those spaghetti bridge building experiments when you were in like physics class?
No, I don't think so. Not a lot of bridge building experience for me. I think the most experience I have in building something was the egg drop challenge. And I think mine broke more often than not. 1-2 in the dirt. There was one time where I did get it to not break because I just made, like, I got an Amazon box and I just stuffed it with cotton balls. So I went like overboard. It was not creative. It was, purely, how do we insulate this?
Just fluffy.
Yeah, and it didn't break. 2-2. Lands for strike 3. Gets Kruger looking, and there's 2 down.
I remember when I did the spaghetti bridge experiment, my teacher kept getting mad at me because I didn't realize you could just eat spaghetti that's not cooked.
Yeah.
Well, you can. It's completely edible. It just doesn't taste very good. So I just kept eating the spaghetti, and she got mad at me.
Yeah. It's not a good use of product. No. It's for bridge building. Brandon Trishelle now up. Takes the ball low. Down 1-0. Tigers trying to hang on to this 11-4 lead. Headed into game 3. Trying to force a rubber match for senior day. Count now 1-1. Wind starting to kick up a little bit. Haven't had a lot of wind this series. Even this is just not very much on the scale of how it's been in the past. Fouled off the end of the bat, was ahead of that pitch. Trishelle now down 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like Thomas Moss got a little bit of a biter on the hand there. It's always terrifying for catchers. The ball off the bat, the foul ball. Because, you know, a ball in the dirt, you can read it pretty well, keep your hands out of the way, keep everything safe. But foul ball, you have no expectation of where it's going to go.
Moss shaking out that hand a little bit. Trying to finish a 1-2-3 inning. The 1-2 in the dirt, and Moss stands up to block that.
I think they might have gone a little bit overboard with trying to miss in the dirt there. That ball landed about 4 feet in front of the bag.
Two-two pitch. 2 down, nobody on in the 8th. just missed the dirt that time, low and away, and the count runs full. Saw Jake Beck run into some trouble in the last inning when he had 2 down. Trying to finish the job here. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Beck. And he throws another scoreless inning. Sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Trinity up 11-4. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. A new arm on the mound for Rhodes is Christian Rose, first year and native of Tennessee, making his 2nd appearance of the year. First pitch misses and gets all the way to the backstop for ball 1 through 1 inning, and his only appearance came on April 12th versus Oglethorpe. Through the 1 inning, walked 2, didn't get any strikeouts, and allowed 1 earned run. So naturally, according to math, his ERA is 9.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's nice even math.
Even math. Back-to-back wild pitches to start this at-bat for Will Baker. Finds himself ahead 2-0. And now 3-0. Baker hitless in today's game. Does have a sacrifice fly, RBI, as well as a walk. And now he has 2 walks. Misses inside for ball 4, and the leadoff man's aboard.
Haven't seen the bat as active today as normal. Sort of kept him to a minimum swinging the bat, even when he's struck out. Balls he's watched have been pretty 50-50.
Brings up the cleanup hitter, Grant Anderson, 2 for 4 today. Just over a 360 hitter on the year. And that gets away off the glove. And Baker will easily take second base, standing up. Baker advances on whether you want to score that as a pass ball or a wild pitch. Looks like there is a new catcher into the game. So Angsley taken out. Gibson Thompson into the game. Able to block that one. Rhodes has yet to throw a strike in this outing. 6 consecutive balls as Anderson finds himself ahead 2-0. Thompson, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, making his 5th appearance behind the dish. Breaking ball misses way up, and it's 3-0. Lampert entered the game in the last inning, gave up the home run to Ramsey. Departed the game with what looked like to be an injury. Pitch misses outside, and 2 consecutive 4-pitch walks handed out by Rhodes.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting between innings. We saw him, I couldn't really tell what part of his arm he was holding, but definitely something was bothering him. And they've got him over there on the massage table, so.
Well, that's at least good.
Yeah, they're giving him to the experts.
He's in good hands.
Yeah. Bit jealous of him, actually.
Saw the trainer come out, who's with him now, who also looks to be the head masseuse. So maybe a 2-for-1 deal there.
It's a learned man.
Very valuable part of the university.
You can see why he travels.
Quick meeting between the new pitcher and the new catcher after Rhodes has allowed 2 consecutive 4-pitch walks. He's thrown 8 balls and no strikes. Brings up Sawyer Haynes. And misses low, ball 1. See Lampert on the massage table there in the Rhodes bullpen. Just sitting for now. I think the massage is done. Strike call. There's the first strike of the inning. So Rhodes trying to settle in here after throwing 9 consecutive balls. Lands a strike. Pitch misses in the dirt.
Looks like there'll be a pitching change here.
So Rhodes just struggling with command, allows 2 4-pitch walks, and his day is done. The 5th arm for Rhodes coming into the game when we come back. Bottom of the 8th inning, Tigers up 11-4. Welcome back to the Alamo City. A new arm on the mound for Rhodes as Kevin Barnett enters the game. Comes in with an ERA over 14. Opportunity to lower that here in this outing, but his last appearance, 2 innings pitched against Maryville. Throws a strike here. Struck out 2, walked nobody, allowed no earned runs. Has only thrown 5 2/3 innings this year. Working against Sawyer Haynes now in a 2-2 count. Haynes lifts one to left center field. Smith going back at the warning track and can't make the catch at the wall. Ball stays in play. 1 run coming around as Baker will score, and it's 12-4 Trinity. Haynes actually held to a single on that play. Looked like the runners had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught.
Anderson tried to advance to third. He's thrown out on the play as well.
So 1 down in the inning. Lots of calamity on that one.
Yeah. Sort of held up thinking maybe he should stop at second, but then committed too late.
Baker scoring from second on the play. 12-4 Trinity with the lead now, and it's Anthony Susha up to the plate. Susha lines one into right field, and he has a 2-hit day now. Haynes going to third. The throw goes there as well. He is in safely, and the throw gets away, rolling all the way to the Trinity dugout and in. And the Tigers will be awarded a run. As Haynes comes in from third, it's 13-4, and Susha will be sent to third. So the first error of the game for either side costs Rhodes.
Yeah, sort of disappointing. That was an absolute rocket from right, but they're not able to hold on to it, and it rolled into the dugout. I think I also saw Rhodes pitcher give Coach Dave Smith a little, what's up, a little hey, tapped him on the shoulder when he went in the dugout.
And now the Tigers in run rule territory all of a sudden with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. The run rule threshold is 10 after 7. So now an opportunity for Nick Jones to walk it off. On senior day nonetheless. Jones with a base hit. He's also been hit by a pitch today. Sacrifice fly would do the job. The infield is in all the way around. He takes ball 1. Big swing and a foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike. Susha, the runner on third, was handed that base after the errant throw rolled all the way to the Trinity dugout very slowly and eventually down the steps. Jones lifts this one foul onto the roof. 1, 2, 3. Do you want to give it 4?
3.5.
It's a very weak 4.
Yeah, very weak 4. Some weak bounces today.
Nick Jones trying to end the game right here. The 1-2. Jones lifts this one foul out of play, not quite to the roof. We'll do it again. Tigers with the 13-4 lead. So ignore the 12 on the screen for now. Looks like the stats are updating. The 1-2. Jones lines it, but it's foul into the Rhodes bullpen. Tigers with a very nice bounce back in game 2, it looks like. And they will have their 2 most high leverage options out of the bullpen ready to go for game 3. 1-2 taken in the dirt. Anything to the outfield would likely do the job. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside does not get the call. Nobody groaning for it either. Count runs full. The countdown count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on third. Jones lifts this one to right field. Larson under it. This could do it. Susha tags from third. The throw in is a good one. Up the line, not in time, and that's the ball game. The walk-off sacrifice fly for Nick Jones, and the Tigers win 14-4 in run rule fashion. A commanding Game 2 victory for Trinity ends early in 8.
Personally, I think it was the speech from Coach Scannell last night. It's very inspiring, I have to admit.
Whatever he did, it certainly worked. Tigers out to an 8-0 lead in this game, and they did not look back. They win 14-4 and take a 1-game lead in the standings for the SAA regular season title. Rhodes will try and even things up by taking the series later today. We invite you to stay tuned for Game 3 of the series and Game 2 of this doubleheader. That'll come up very shortly on Tiger Network. Stay tuned for that. But for everybody working today in Game 1, Ariel Monson out here on camera, everybody volunteering in the control room. I know Craig was down there, and Shepard Tyler up here with me for all 8 innings that we played today. I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long for now in San Antonio. We'll be back in less than an hour.